Hello. How's my hair? Today I'm making a simple supper again, another one. But now I'm gonna do a little salad, some veggies, and some bison ribeye. So first thing I want to do is get my salad started. Cucumber, it's fresh, local, this time of year. It's great for that stuff. And I'm gonna just cut up some cucumber. I'm gonna get these in just a shallow baking dish. I got some awesome heirloom tomatoes. They're beautiful. And I'm just gonna do the same. I'm just gonna give them a nice slice. Got a couple different color variations here, so that's gonna make it look pretty too. That's good for that. Grab another one here. All right, lovely. So I'm just gonna kind of spread this out a little bit evenly in my dish here. I'm just gonna get my cucumber coated with a nice little layer of salt. There we go. A little bit of fresh ground black pepper, sprinkle on top there. Now I'm just gonna throw my tomatoes on, kind of in a nice even layer, even-ish. Don't have to be too fancy. This is nothing over the top. There we go, a nice layer of tomato. And now I'm going to hit it again. A little more salt because it's the tomato juices we really want. That brings out a lot of flavor. There we get a nice little salt on there. A little more black pepper. Cool. Now I'm gonna set that aside. That's gonna stay there. Wipe off my cutting board. I could have just grabbed another cutting board, but whatever. Okay, next I'm going to start prepping my veggies. So I'm going to take the carrots. I'm going to be doing, I got some nice green beans here. I already pulled the tops off. Got some nice carrots, some nants, and just a few. And I'm going to get those with the mandolin. This is a cheap one, and I'm going pretty thin with them. Not like paper thin, but quite thin because I'm cooking them with the beans. I'm trying to minimize dirty dishes here. And pans used. So you get these pretty thin. So my goal, it's kind of experimental, but my goal is to get the carrots and the beans cooking in about the same time. Coolness. All right, now I'm gonna get a pan going for those. All right, get that pan preheating. And I'm actually gonna throw my carrots right in with these beans. And I'm gonna set that aside while my pan's heating up. Now I'm going to get a couple sweet potatoes peeled up. And I find with sweet potatoes, I really like the idea of crispy sweet potato fries and that sort of thing, but realistically, it never actually works out well. They always end up little too mushy or too delicate or whatever. So basically, I'm just going to go with a sweet potato puree, and which is great. Just as another little side. So I'll get that. And as I'm saying that, I'm realizing that I should probably get some water boiling. Get these ready to start cooking. All right, those are ready. Made a huge mess. Dump that, and now I'm actually going to get a new cutting board because that one is dirty. Okay. So I'm getting some water running, and I'm going to fill up my pot here. All right, and don't forget to season your water. And I'm going to add a little touch of sugar again because sweet potatoes are sweet, and that's good. Okay, now I'm going to chop these up. You know what? I'm probably just going to use the one. And I don't want this to take too long. So, chopping them in fairly small pieces. Like half-inch cubes, something like that. All right, so that put those in a bowl for now, just to dirty more dishes. And I'll stick that aside. I got that macerating. I got my veggies there. I got my seasoned sweet potato water. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. You know what? Since I'm not going with a real high heat for my veggies, that's my beans and carrots, I'm going to use olive oil for this. Just a light olive oil, not a real flavorful, extra virgin-y kind of thing. Yeah, so I got these nice Bison ribeye, which I'm pretty excited about. Should be delicious. I'm going to go with black pepper. Stick with the theme. And Herbe de Provence. It's a nice classic blend. Funny thing is, I always thought Herbe de Provence included tarragon, but it doesn't. This is just a mix of marjoram, rosemary, thyme, savory, basil, lavender, and sage. Yeah, that'll do. All right, so my veggies are ready to go in. I don't want to overcook these. I'm going to keep them a little bit on the crisp, fresh side. And another thing that would be nice, but I would be adding either a little splash of stock or white wine, something like that. But I think I'll omit that today. But I will get a little bit of garlic prepped, because garlic is good in everything. Oh, a few cloves of garlic. All right. Yeah, I don't want them too. I don't want it too fine. I don't want them to instantly burn. wipe down. It's going. It's going. All right. Now let's see if I got a lid for that thing. Does it work? So I'm going to throw a lid on there just to keep some moisture in. Another thing I will do, throw a little splash of water in there. Not right this second, but I'm going to get it ready. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Put a little water in there, get that steaming. Sweet potato water's boiling. There we go. Oh, let's test it. Oh yeah. Now that pan is ready for my bison. I'm just gonna open these up right in the package. And yes, I'm going to use a different knife for everything. Now I'm going to give that a little seasoning, a little salt on there. I just touched it for fuck's sake. All right. Okay, that should be plenty. Salt. I use a fairly coarse salt. It just happens to be my preference. Plus, I'm always fucking around with mortar and pestle. So if I need fine salt, I just throw it in there and give it a quick grind. Some people say that pepper burns if you put it on your steak. I don't know. We'll see. Let's test it out today. Okay, so that's ready. Ooh. Nice. Beans and carrots are almost ready. So what I'm going to do now with them, get them with some salt. Half decent amount. And a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to get my steaks right in the pan. Lovely. Lovely. Now I'm going to get some butter. Out from there, I'll get my backup butter. And grab another knife. A decent sized chunk of butter. Throw that in there with the carrots and beans. Now I'm thinking I'm going to stick one of these bad boys in there. And yeah, I'm going to take the seeds out. Just happens to be my preference. I just want the flavor of the chili itself, not all the seeds. Now I'm going to end up rubbing my eyes, burning my face off, once I forget that I just did this. This knife sucks for this. Right, get out of there, seeds. Come on, you're not welcome here. There you go. And I'll probably keep those seeds too for my next year's batch. Alright, let's get this chopped up. Ooh, that smells good. Alright, there we go. Throw some chili in there. Throw my garlic in there. My Aile de Provence. Nice shakeroonie. There we go. And I'll give it a nice little douse of olive oil again. Just a little bit. So I got that butter in there. Nothing wrong with being greasy. A little toss. Get this shit mixed up. Oh yeah. That's smelling good. Smelling real good. Now I'm going to season the other side of my steak. Went a little heavy with the salt on the first side, so I'm not going to go too crazy here, but I do want a little bit on there because I like how the salt kind of draws some moisture to the surface, and then when it hits the pan, it gets that nice little crusty bit on there, which is the best part, in my opinion. Going for something like a medium rare here, but probably a little more on the rare side. I got a nice crust there, so I'm going to give it a flip. Oh, yeah, that's nice. If you can see this, but I don't think I can get it to the camera and back without a disaster, so you're going to have to take my word for it. So while that's getting a good sear on, I'm contemplating my next move. So I'm going to let that sit, and hopefully the beans are going to steam a little bit. And also, as I'm doing this too, there's the carrots kind of sink to the bottom and the beans are sort of floating on top. It's hard to get turned around, so that might not be a bad thing. It might work in our favor here because the butter and carrots are going to brown a little bit if I let it sit. I did just turn the heat off, but there's still plenty of heat coming out of there because it's a halogen cooktop. So I'd like to use that to my advantage, even though it would be nice to have gas, which would be optimal, but this is what I got right now. Working with that. All right. These steaks. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. I'm going to guess my steaks are probably around, yeah, right where I want them to be, actually. So, in order to not contaminate my butter, I'm going to grab another knife. There's 30 more dishes. I'm going to take a nice big fat hunk of butter, throw it in the pan. Get that melting. Melt, motherfucker, melt. My sweet potato is mushable. All right. Sweet potatoes are cool. Oh, grab my colander. Oh, strain these bitches out. And I'm just going to do everything in one pan. And I also know that I said that I was making a sweet potato puree. That might have been a bit of an exaggeration because I'm just going to mash them. So I'll grab that butter knife that I had going. In my handy dandy French butter dish. Take some softer butter just so it doesn't cool it down too much. Nice big gob of butter in there. And yeah, I'm going to hit it with a pinch of cinnamon. Just a tiny pinch. Just enough for a hint. I don't want it tasting like a dessert because, well, just because. I'm going to give it little bit here. I'm going to take this, turn the heat off on my steaks, give them one more little flip, get some of that goodness on there, put them back, and over, put them back. Yeah. All right, take it off the heat for a sec. And I'm going to pardon the noise, but I'm going to grab a plate. Put those steaks on there. They're looking good. And put that back on the heat. Well, the residual heat anyway. A little chunk of foil here. Yeah. Just kind of tent that. Cover them up, let them rest. Do the thing. How's this little salad doing? Let's see now. What do I got here? Them tong, 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 tong. Okay, I'm going to give this a little mix up. It's a bit of, not a lot of time for maceration to occur, but it is. We're getting some of those juices out of there. And that's looking awesome. And what I think I'm going to do, again, the simple thing, I'm going to take find myself a nice lime here. A nice squeeze of lime juice. You could also use balsamic or whatever you want. I was thinking about using balsamic, but I'm going to go with lime today. And some olive oil. But for this, I'll use a little nicer, like a cold press, extra virgin type of thing. Something with a little olive oily flavor. A nice, healthy drizzle. And again, I'll just kind of set that aside and let it do its thing. Now, with that, that would be great to add a little bit of basil or parsley or whatever kind of fresh herbs you have, which is something I don't really have right now. Now, this, add a little bit of water here to my steak pan just to deglaze it. Get a nice little pan sauce going here. And sorry about the noise. Use a fork because it's going to work a little better. And actually add just a touch of some nice spicy mustard. The mustard helps just a little tiny bit. Kind of helps with the emulsification of the fat from the, I was going to say beef, but it's bison. There, we get that mixed up there real nice. And you don't want to leave that on the heat too much because it'll separate again. Right now I got a nice kind of an emulsification going here. I'll set that there for a minute. Check on my sweet potatoes. Give that a nice mash. Got my wooden cutting board here, so I'm not mashing on my stovetop. Ooh, that smells good. Now you could always add a little bit of cream to this. I'm not going too crazy for smooth dish, just kind of like a nice mash consistency. But again, if you wanted to puree this, an immersion blender, a little bit of cream, throw it in a piping bag, you can get real fancy with it. How my veggies. Check them shits. All right, where are we at? I think we're pretty much done. I think dinner is pretty much ready. What am I missing? What am I forgetting? You know what? Just add something else for the sake of adding something else. I'm just gonna cut up an avocado here. And I'm gonna cut up my avocado here. Half will probably be good. Cool. I'm just gonna do that. Some thin slice. All right, so we got some avocado slices. Push to the side. Now we are ready to plate. That's it. Real-time supper. So, might as well start with the steak. Again, if you wanted to get fancy, you kind of slice this in some nice thin strips. Show the lovely colors. I am not going to have much room on that plate. I'm going to use the same tongs for everything because I'm crazy like that. Some of our awesome beans and carrots, and yeah, oh yeah, like I suspected, the carrots are kind of browned up on one side, looking really delicious. And of course, there are many, many fancier ways of plating this, but that's not what this video is. This is just me cooking supper in real time. I'm gonna grab my sweet potatoes. Actually, I'm gonna get a little testing spoon. It's a good thing I did. It's delicious, but needs salt. So I'm gonna grind up a little bit of salt. There is a little tiny bit of pepper left in there, but I don't mind because I like black pepper, and this is gonna suit them nicely. So there we go, nice pinch of salt in there. And I'll grab a fresh fork to dirty. And I'll dirty another spoon to taste it, because I'm not going to do gross shit on camera. I'm too gross. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, I'm going to plate up my sweet potatoes. Boom. Nice healthy amount, because this is food for sustenance, not for show. Well, I guess it's a little bit for show since it's on camera. That's kind of a stupid. All right. And again, nothing too fancy here. If I was, I would probably throw a run this through a fine strainer. Make sure it was emulsified. But I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of my pan sauce here right on top of my steaks, because we wouldn't want all that deliciousness to go to waste. Oh yeah. And I'm not even going to put my salad on a separate plate. I'm going to put it all on the same plate because I am crazy like that. I didn't already say that already, but I can't find my tongs. Not those ones. Oh, these ones. They're there. Sorry, that was loud. Okay, so I'm going to grab a handful there with not my hands. Another, get some different colors going there. Some, layer it up a little bit. Not going crazy fancy, but we're not going ugly either. Right up, breaking all the rules. There we go. Some nice layerage there. I want one more nice piece of tomato in there, even though I'm running out of room. Yeah. 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 One more cucumber. I'm so fucking crazy. All right. Boom. Dinner is ready. Now, I'll taste it. Oh, no, wait. No. I forgot. Yeah. Some avocado slices. And damn, that's gonna... Avocados are just creamy and delicious, and it just kind of adds to the salad here. This is going to be kind of a zesty salad. Oh, go like that. A little bit fancy. There. All right. So, time for grand reveal. Taste test. I think this one will be mine. Cut right through the middle here, see what it looks like. Just a touch of pink. I could have used a little pinker, but I don't want to offend my co-eaters who like it medium. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Pardon my language. It is surprisingly tender and very flavorful. Oh yeah. We will be licking the plates tonight. Nailed it. Bon appetit. I thought it only fair that I should give you a shot what it actually looks like. Like I said, nothing fancy, but delicious AF. Thanks for watching.